defend them. Look at those gas prices fall. And then look at that milk go up in price. It's up like 60 cents in the last month. So he predicted that Trump would start a war with Iran, but the war was already started years ago. When they threatened our people with nuclear war. Every time they said death to America, they started a war. Iran started the war. It's the Iranian Revolution. Let's watch some salty.
Might be an unpopular take, but I think the Mohawk comment was. Think of this chat. We all know that chick's a bunch of of course. I won't get fucking sued. Look at the McCraw. I really hope they sell tickets to Gavin going to the. I can't read that right. I hear you.
Have Americans finally had it? Mass surveillance system?
I don't know if my internet isn't working because the mass surveillance system is up. That's what I have a problem with. I don't really care about mass surveillance. We're already being surveilled. You got Pavel Durov from Telegram talking about how some of these nations, I think the UK, is trying to make it under 16 isn't allowed to be on the internet. I think that should be the rule. If they're under that age and they're found out to be under that age and they're online, their parents should be responsible for what they are doing. 100%. Simple as that. They shouldn't be given phones. It's insane. to watch everyone and everything. They're going to use mass surveillance. And they're using the kids as the excuse. So that's what everybody wanted, right? They wanted the kids protected instead of actually taking responsibility for what your kid does.
More pay-per-views. I hear you, mercenary. I hear you, brother. I hear you. You're gonna hear a lot of real dumb takes tonight. Right? You're gonna hear a lot of real stupid shit. Court case, if you will, the trial of the century. Let's go see if reasonable heads have prevailed. Let's go.
Apparently not.
This is
Apparently, what's been
more
going on
guns.
as
Well, this is a
aftermath in this
sports
situation
Like a
is absolute chaos. It's the opposite of what everybody needs.
sports one. It's like a black.
Like today, I almost got ran over by a fucking black chick, like from Texas. She in this state, in a completely different state where she was, she lives, and she's almost running me over.
Version.
Because white people are bad. Apparently,
Of,
it's like, we're back to the
Marv
same
Allen.
bullshit.
Right? Black version of Marv Allen, right? That's a weird.
Imagine somebody that's like trying to actually find peace in all this is being threatened. The box, the giant box. Oh hell yeah! I just got a piece of food and sunflower. No, it was 30 gems. That's cash. I got 2 boxes open. To open, sweet. Right. Sunflower Land.
ESPN host Stephen A. Miller.
And his life has been essentially destroyed, but he's still alive. And Austin Metcalf is not.
Okay, holy shit. Look outside. Okay. What? Where are we going with this? Listen, that poor Austin. Not poor Austin. That poor Carmelo Anthony. His life's been destroyed.
He plunged a dagger
he
into
killed
somebody's
somebody.
chest.
I think
That's
that person's
insane.
Life is destroyed.
The
I'm
reason
sorry,
why he got such a regular, like just an unexpected, like cliche, sort like a heavy sentence like that, no matter what, is because of how heavily he like dove it into the person's chest. He did it in a way that would just end the person's life.
Hey, he might be in jail, but the other kid's dead. Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? So we got a gigantic problem in this country because we can't. Again, we're not going to be able to have a functional society if we can't all agree that
Murder is bad. It's easy.
Right. Is probably a bad thing to do if they touch your shoulder, if they push you. Now, we're not going to be able to agree on that, obviously. So.
That should be the most simple thing that we can all agree on.
But he's going to have some more retarded shit to say. Believe it or not, lads.
Was look.
I tried to.
I don't think that for a first-time offender at the age of 17 is fair. I think that's a bit too excessive.
Okay, so that means we're just going to allow a bunch of other 17-year-olds to just go and plunge daggers into people's chests and, imagine somebody doing like a hit on somebody, right? And they got paid $1 million to do it. And they got to sit in prison for 17 years to get that $1 million after they have done the deed. Everybody would be doing that. Guaranteed you're rich after you get out of prison. You don't even need a job at that point. So that's the problem with this whole be light sentence on a first time offender or something like that. Somebody rapes somebody, it's like that. Somebody ends somebody's life, somebody assaults people like that. It's insane. He ended a person's life.
Especially when he wasn't judged, in my estimation, by a jury of his peers, even though there's no mandatory racial dynamic or demographic that needs to make up a jury. But the other side to it, I quoted his father when his father was saying everybody thinks about his grief. It's grief. He said, you know what it is? It's rage. That's what it is. And essentially, what he was saying is that I sent my son to attract me, and he never came home.
No.
I thought he was talking about
No.
the other side.
No, he killed somebody. The other kid's never coming home. This is fascinating that the black community has been so propagandized, that this place is so rich. You're a rich, successful black dude. Like you get paid to comment on sports
And that's a good point.
all day. God, but you hate this place.
No, everybody who has a shit ton of money, who's like has their face up on in the front of everything, you have to realize that person is basically like picked. They've been selected by the elite high above the clouds. Because in a way, because you have to consider that like Trump, he tried to be president, he ended up being president, and look at how heavily he got attacked. A person who hasn't actually committed any heinous crimes. And like somehow he still made it, but like even though he's in there, he doesn't have full ultimate authority over everything. He's not like this, power horse of an influence. Those people who do have influence are bought and paid for, are picked, hand selected by the powers that control everything across the planet, because they were not attacked as they rose. They were allowed to get into those positions. And that kind of mentality and that kind of activity will be stopped when AI is in charge. Oh, great. See, I just went to click close on an ad and the fucking thing resets. The whole app resets. These software engineers aren't even doing their job right. I keep complaining about YouTube, the fact that, I can be on this live stream, that's great, but I can't do anything else on my phone. So I have to use a second fucking phone just to get anything done. So I'm going to watch this ad. I'm going to tap watch ad. Okay. And okay. And then it closes out the YouTube video. So this app isn't even done right in the code. Like nothing is done right. Everything's fucking broken. That's the real problem that we have. Is everything's engineered to break and everything is broken. Hiring more H-1Bs isn't going to fix it, obviously, considering that YouTube's probably riddled with H-1Bs and they can't set the app up to where I can do other things while I'm streaming without showing everybody my device. That's the big tragedy, is that we imported a bunch of people that were supposed to make our lives better because they were supposed to do the work better than us, and they didn't. They just took the money and ran. It's like fucking run faster, get the fuck out of my country.
The emotions are already running high. They keep you separated for a reason. This fucking kid was under the. And by the way, we've got video of it now. It wasn't rain. There were plenty of people not under the tent. This kid was like, I'm under this tent for whatever reason. I don't know, by the way. And I'm not moving. And the other kid said, you gotta go, 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 you gotta go. And so, and by the way, you gotta go. And then the other kid said, touch me, see what the fuck happens. He then provokes him, threatens him. There's enough blame to go around until you get to the part of murder. Then no. That's again. That's a wild escalation. Wild. That's fucking insane that we're having this argument. By the way.
Well, what's insane is that it wasn't immediately identified as an issue and seen that way. As everybody that was there, they would have all spoke up and like, that dude is guilty. The fact that anybody said that that person wasn't guilty is mind-blowing.
Everybody should be on the same page, but black people like this dude over here, not all black people, obviously, but retarded black people like
You have to understand that when I talk about things, there's like a blanket statement. You know, I say I have these blanket statements. It doesn't apply to absolutely everybody. There are heroes. It's just generally, you know, if people are reading from the same script, I've said it earlier. What was it, 4 days ago? If a group of people are all reading from the same script, and you know that it's those same groups of people, that specific group of people that are reading from that same script, then you know that they're all on the same page. You can generalize their opinions for the most part.
over here are going to say no. Again, he's not going to stab anybody. He's not going to stab anybody. He's telling other black people to stab people.
You know, there's a few people within that group that don't believe in what they're really following with faith, what they're reading. You know, just same thing applies to religion. You know, there's people that are reading the Bible and they don't actually believe it, but they'll go blah, 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 recite the things, and it's like they don't actually mean what they're saying.
He's trying to normalize black teen youths stabbing white people. He ain't going to do it because he's a rich dude and he understands that he's going to go to jail if he does it. And he doesn't want to go to jail. He likes being rich. But he'll tell other black people, especially young black people, the world's worst advice.
And that's another tragedy that happened in my time, is that you had a lot of rappers that were like, oh, we're gangbanger, and they weren't actually gangbanging. All they were doing was slinging around drugs and acting like they're something great.
Because he's an asshole. He's an asshole. This motherfucker is not going to listen to his own advice.
So they weren't actually doing those things that they were saying in their songs. They were just saying that they were. Except for when it comes to like Snoop Dogg and like back in the day, in like the early 90s and, you know, late 80s, those dudes, those people were actually doing what they were saying. So you got Ice Cube and you had all those people during that time. They actually did what they were talking about. But you had like the 2000s, like the 1995 and on, they weren't actually doing anything that they were saying. And one example is Gucci Mane, who was literally just going on, you know, great trips, selling drugs and trafficking people, and that's all they were doing. They weren't doing anything that was like, hey, we're, you know, gangbanging around, we're on the streets. They didn't spend time on the streets.
It's a good lesson, Jose.
That's why, you know, you go Psychopathic Records, you listen to all that, you know, the ICP and everything. I said it in one of their videos. I'm like, you didn't stay hungry. They got well fed and they became weak.
The worst stereotypes that people
That's why I rarely eat, because I gotta stay hungry.
out there say
Keep us
in
100%
terms of
right.
What to do when you're around certain demographics.
I'm pretty sure if we look at social media, that stereotype already exists. Elon pushes it every day, so let's not act like I'm making it up.
Well, no, you're not making it up.
What are you
You're
talking about?
perpetuating it. with
Yes,
what
I
you
am,
said.
because that's how we operate.
Well,
He's like,
At least he said the quiet part out loud.
you know, that black people are violent, and And then he goes,
That's how we
well,
operate.
hey, man, Elon's telling everybody that Elon's pushing racist memes all over the place, telling everybody that we're violent. And then the people goes, but you're perpetuating it. He goes, well, because we are violent. Okay, but what? What was the whole Elon Musk thing? So Elon Musk is pushing the truth. You should be stoked that Elon Musk is pushing the truth. Your truth is that black people are violent, but you got a problem that Elon Musk is okay pushing it. Shouldn't you be stoked that he's pushing your truth? What? This guy is a fucking problem. Not for me, by the way. Hilarious for me. But if I was black, I would say, kids, come in here. Kids. Black kids, come in here. He's retarded, and he's trying to sell himself.
Did you guys hear what was just said? The dude's like, "Oh, Elon's making all these memes and being racist and stuff," and then the other person's like, "Well, what if it's true or something like that?" And the person's like, whatever, you know, that's basically the truth. And like, it was like, why did you even bring that up?
That guy right there is selling out his for cash money. That one bad. Oh, you're violent. Okay. Holy shit. Holy shit. This black dude honest psycho. Son of a bitch. Oh man.
Actually, yes, I am, because that's how we operate.
That's how we operate. Okay.
Black people. We have a fuck about it fallacy. Don't start no shit. Won't be no shit. Keep your hands to yourself because we might hurt you. That is evident, and we are not apologetic about that.
Yeah, that's my bro. Yeah, the kid's under the wrong tent. He's under the wrong tent. And most leftards have never played a competitive sport. These motherfuckers never kept scores. They don't even know what the fuck is going on over here. But that's not normal.
So at that point, that person is now trespassing in a way. Person is in a place where they're not supposed to be, technically making contact that's inappropriate. And that the white person at that point in this situation, Austin Metcalf, should have immediately taken a dagger and done, you know, by that logic, taken a dagger and done the thing. You know what I mean? Like, technically, he was already touched. So
that's not normal at a sport event. For the other teams,
it's
that's not
bad
normal.
logic.
That's not fine, by the way. And it's not allowed. It causes huge fucking. Those are fights. It's fucking insane. You'll never be able to explain it to people who've never been in sports. They don't understand it. But yeah, the kid's under the wrong pen. He started it. That is a violation of operating procedure. It's a deviation from standard norms that every straight person would acknowledge. And then he threatens another guy, touch me, see what happens. Again, he lost his self-defense leg. But then he starts threatening and provoking somebody else. Again, he's under the wrong pen to begin with. He's on the wrong.
Okay, now we're gonna apply that to Chud, because what Chud did was he just went over to people that were shouting insults. Okay, and then he didn't have to. So at that point, he was basically accepting the provocation and then further provoking the situation.
Lie of the meat to begin with. So this, hey, don't start no shit, there won't be no shit. The other retard started it. The violent, low impulse control having animal started it. The other kid shouldn't have punched him.
Well, you should have enough impulse control to not use the N word. I mean, it's insane that you can't have enough impulse to use a word, to not use a word.
Should have touched him. Yeah. But you can't respond and I'll kill you. You know how many people I would have stabbed to death at fucking Target? If I could stab people that fucking pushed me. I could stab people that touched my fucking shoe. I could stab motherfuckers down. We're cutting in line? No,
Right.
no.
Right, the logic
No,
doesn't
so
add up.
There you go. I should have. Okay, I'm sorry, Jack. Next time. No. But that's wild.
I'm sure
That's
you
wild.
guys can't
Keep
hear
your
it too
children,
well.
touch black kids. You know what I mean? Again, black people keep putting themselves in situations where white people are going to have to touch them. There's this notion that black people are fucking. This is happening in a vacuum of blacks being saints. No. Daniel Penny is touching a black dude because the black dude's threatening to fucking kill people on a train, right? It's fucking insane. So, the notion of don't start no shit, there won't be no shit. Again.
Don't start no shit. The shit was started as soon as there was a dude under the tent where he's not supposed to be. I didn't know anything about the Carmelo Anthony trial at all until after it already started going into session, and it was a quick trial, but it blew my mind to not see any action, any movement for that long. That's why earlier in a few streams ago, I was like, that took way too long, because it was you had somebody clearly plunging a dagger into somebody's chest. Okay, to know that, to ever see that, just if you had even seen that video once, if you were the judge, you would have been like, all right, this dude's charged. Goodbye. But to hear that people actually donated to somebody who took another's life with zero remorse, and the media ran with it. Who knows? He might be innocent. He might not be. It's egregious. planet's lost, and if people don't start acting locally and start building locally, things will not get any better. And what I mean by locally is including everybody in your local area. You know, not all the rich people. You know, you get along with rich people. You're gonna get stuck in that cave. It's gonna be like a Plato's cave, because all the rich people that you're working with are never going to see crisis when it comes. Welcome. That's the difference between the prepping community, the poor community, and the rich community. The prepper community is already stuck in that cave, but they're in a very smart cave, a very logical cave. The rich people are stuck in a cave and they have no idea what the fuck's on the outside. They don't care either. The poor people always know what the hell is going on because they're paying attention. And they have to. If they don't pay attention, then they don't see, you know, they're not, that's why they survive, is because they pay attention.
I ran this bridge down from Duke. And they said, and also the story painted $1 million stake.
So who would you rather have in a survival situation? The people not paying attention at all? The people who are stuck in a cave, a logical cave, but if you go there, you're going to have to, you know, basically change your entire way of life, or work with poor people, and those poor people will maybe not have very much, but they're very smart. They're very in the loop. They're not stuck in a cave. They're not ignorant.
I see Marjorie Taylor Greene. I see a bunch of people talking about how we're going to send $300 million of taxpayer money to Iran. Again, I would take that with a grain of salt because nobody knows what the fucking points of the deal are yet. And I have to imagine if you're screaming about it on The View or on CNN, you're probably just talking out your asshole. And you do have to be held accountable. So you get that much people talking shit, boys. Talking shit here. So you got Carmelo Anthony. He's the real victim here. Carmelo's the victim here. You shouldn't
Welcome.
lose sight of the fact that Carmelo Anthony's life has been destroyed, right? He's a first-time offender. I mean, who here hasn't stabbed somebody to death? Huh? Let me, who hasn't stabbed somebody to death, cast the first stone. I haven't stabbed anybody yet.
That's bad.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, you're fucking all done. Just sitting there, all that. Between Venezuela and Iran, strategic oil reserves, right? Fill that up and then flood the fucking market. Let's get dollar gas, boys. Our subway full of will still be $20. I'm looking forward to 75-cent gas. So let's go fucking, let's go crazy. I've never seen some price. Where's the lowest I've ever seen gas?
We might see a $2.50, $2 gallon gas. That'd be interesting.
I remember taking a 20. You just have to like go into the place. They didn't. These are gas stations that didn't fucking take your credit card or your phone. What you think you pay for gas? Because you use your fucking phone.
Yeah, I remember going back in the day, going into the store, and I'd go in with a $20 bill, fill up my tank just the rest of the way, and I'd be coming out with change.
And I have to go back and get change. Guys, there was change. Glorious change, man. My mom fill up the tank and say, little something, go get my change. And I go back in.
I was looking at bags of chips today. $2 for a bag of chips. $2.50 for a bag of chips. They used to be 35 cents. It's almost a 10x increase.
John 9, please. Sometimes I get bills back.
If prices are this high, these manufacturing companies are not doing it right. Their prices should be coming down because they're getting better at making the product, right?
Trip down memory road. All right, so we got this problem over this trap. It's a trap. Always unleaded. I've never seen leaded gas. Not that old, I guess. Leaded gas. Let it go, shit. All right, let's, we got one more boycott, by the way, because like, you know, black people had it, by the way. Black people fucking done. Black people like, wait, no, between Carmelo Anthony and that fucking Asian who shot the 14-year-old. That's right, lads. Now we've got a boycott times, boycott, y'all.
I'm still supporting Asian businesses, not desirous. We boycotting all Asian, Vietnamese, and Korean businesses. Come on, black.
Come on, black. Come on. We out of here. No. Get my nails did. Fuck that. And she wrote, you know, Tom? You know, Tom? I'm already in the tank. I'm in the tank already. No. Fuck these Asians. What? Especially the fucking Koreans. What do the Koreans have to do? The guy's name is Henry Chow. Henry Chow. Motherfucker's not really Chinese.
Henry.
This situation, 14-year-old goes into a liquor store or a gas station, starts stealing bottles of water.
So that's pretty
The owner
sweet.
chases him out,
Monday,
he turns around, points at the gun. The store owner ends him.
I
And now
made
black people are all upset about this. They're like, hey, he didn't have a gun. No, he
I
had a
made
gun.
38,
Go,
almost
"Well,
$39 today.
you have proof of that? No. No, we just know that Cyrus wouldn't have a gun. But there's pictures of Cyrus on his social media, you guessed it, with a gun. The police.
And if I get
the
lucky,
police, huh? Yeah, so Henry Chow
I'll have
and
that
the police,
charged
they're
in the
working
next
together to
hour or
kill
so,
13
and
black
I'll
youths.
go
I
back
don't think so.
out and make a little bit more money.
Could the store owner plant the gun? Yeah, it could have happened. Could the police have planted the gun? Could there be a large-scale municipal conspiracy against black people on this street corner? It could be. But odds are the 14-year-old had a fucking gun, and the 14-year-old pointed the gun at the store owner. He's probably listened to that other fucking idiot say, hey, don't you chase our black teen youths, or you won't get fucking guns pointed at you. No, that doesn't make sense, bro. Oh, we're crazy. I don't think that's a great look for black podcasters going around saying, hey, look, we're violent. We're violent. Anyway, we out of here, boys.
Still doing Asian businesses after Cyrus. We boycotting all Asian.
All Asian, all of them.
See, I haven't been seeing all this.
These Asians over here.
I understand where they're coming from. That's the thing, is I understand where they're coming from, and they're taking the wrong turn, and it's the women. It's once again the women that are taking the wrong turn. I don't see a bunch of black dudes out there that are like hating on white dudes. I see a bunch of black chicks now, oversized black chicks now, talking about how much they hate white people. I don't see black dudes doing that. This wasn't a problem 2 years ago. This even during, the fucking riots and everything. This wasn't a problem yesterday. The hell are people doing?
Start accosting black people at Asian. Take a look. Okay. No, same way. That's the trick. I got it. Come on, ladies, we're out of here. I'm going to the black. We're going to support black people.
The black dollar is powerful. They don't respect us.
No respect. Please.
Shut up.
Whoa,
Shut up. Because those people kill my people. What are you talking about? They did. And we boycott all y'all business.
you don't want to run up that store, sweetheart. Oh shit! No, you people over here.
But we are them, right? So that's the thing, is that apparently we descended from Africa, so we are them. Our skin changed, but we're still them, right?
Hot as black. You and the white supremacists are hot as blacks down. Oh my god, don't go there, sweetheart. You do not want to get into a scorekeeping situation with the Asians when it comes to who is killing who at this point. For fuck's sake, I'm going to backfire big. It's like gas wars in the 60s.
Like the Asians were originally black. The British were originally black. The redheads were originally black, right?
I want to live next to Asians. Find me the jappiest Jap place. How about that? Oh, yeah, sign me up. Blacks can live up to 4,000 as much as in 100 years. 155, but nothing about 120,000 whites murdered by blacks in 50 years. Stack, thank you, brothers. Stack, jumping 5 bombs, thank you, bro. So, I really hope they sell tickets to be arrested. We boycott this shit. Yeah, that's right. I don't like the idea.
So at some point, I'm finishing up my bow, and I have ideas to make arrows, and it's going to be so simple. Arrowheads. So
you have these map places or these store places or these review places, there's Japanese, Chinese, Korean-owned business, black-owned business, Mexican-owned business.
I can make arrowheads and feathers with cans. Imagine that. So you can shape and form an arrowhead out of a tin can. You just shape it, curl it, make the point, attach it to the wood, and then you can make fins with the tin can as well. So boom, you need to make arrows. You don't need birds. You don't need feathers.
Oh yeah, based on the skin color, but white people, then that's the same equivalent of discriminating against white people. Instead of saying hey fuck white people, you're like hey good everybody else, you leave white people behind. It's a form of screwing people over. It's like a rosier version of discrimination. It's discrimination with a smile. That's what it is. But if I was a black person and I was like hey there's a black-owned store, but I can't. Oh yeah, support. I got it. So you can head over here to what the fuck. No, don't zoom. No, I'm gonna zoom. Don't zoom. Do not zoom. I'm gonna zoom, boys. I'm gonna zoom so hard. No! What the fuck? What the fuck is this? Fucking George sitting there going, I shot shit out of trees. I look like where the fuck is on her eye? I know. This picture like she got dead tarantulas on her fucking eye fevers. What the fuck is happening here? What the shit? No, God. Lean into it, sweetheart. Floor is yours.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Hair Kingdom. We have the best deal in the city.
What accent is that? Please help me. What? We're gonna let this play, but in the chat, please tell me what accent. That's a sexy accent. All right.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Hair Kingdom. We have the best deal in the city of New Orleans. Y'all already know. We have a wholesale one. I can over here. We have this one for $1. We have this one for $1. This one for $1. This for $1. Y'all know the best live low. This one for $2. Y'all know see the edges. $2.
strips a motherfucking tire of that. What the? What do you? But yeah, there you go. Listen, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I think that's
You don't have
whatnot.
to go and say fuck you Asians. Fuck you, Fuck you. I can't believe that a Chinese dude shot a 14-year-old pointing a gun at him. Fuck you, Chinese. It's not even Chinese. Fucking screw that up. Just because a 14-year-old pointed a gun at a Chinese store owner, you shouldn't be allowed to kill him. We'll show you Koreans. That doesn't make any sense. 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 You're not under attack by.
None of this even should apply though. And the reason why it applies right now is because of Generation X using hype content to benefit from it. It's like, dude, they wouldn't have had an argument at this point if nobody spouted any hateful shit.
Korean nail salons. This is wild. Don't you don't run the Chinese out of your black neighborhoods? Go support a black one. Go support a black one. That makes total sense. Makes total sense.
Yeah, I'm not against. I understand.
Much like Carmelo.
I understand the frustration. I understand the fatigue. Everybody's fatigued with this shit. But a lot of this stuff wouldn't even be applicable. Like, I could sit here and say, there's never been a white person that said anything wrong about a black person. I could say that if white people didn't say nasty things. Deep down, nobody cares if you're white or black. Deep down, nobody actually cares. Like, well, no dudes care. That's the difference. Okay, here's the thing. Is that chicks, they're all like super emotional. They don't have any sort of goals above just their emotions. They want to be the center of attention. They want to be important in some way, and they'll go to great lengths to do so. But that's where it stops. That's where it begins and where it ends. When it comes to dudes are not racist against each other, generally. Like the only thing that I had a problem with was that we had generally, I didn't see Americans doing it. I didn't see Chinese doing it. I saw people from South American countries speaking Spanish, taking jobs, undercutting those prices, taking those jobs. So what have I said before? I hate, South Americans. Well, if we could get along, if there was, if you would get your illegals out of the fucking country and stop taking the fucking jobs, then, I would feel quite a bit different. When it comes to actual racism, I don't care if you're white, black, yellow, green. I don't care what the hell color you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your hair looks like. If it's a chick or a dude, I don't care what color you are. I'm going to treat you as a normal human being. Everybody the same. And that means I might be aggressive when there's a moment to be aggressive. Whether or not you be a white person or a black person or a female or a male or an Asian or whatever. Am I going to treat you differently than I'm going to treat that person? Unless I like you. But even then, you might still see me express my opinion from a certain level or that other side
Somehow
of that
now,
outside.
the black community is the victim after a 14-year-old points in the direction of a Chinese store owner. No, good job. Let's just say, I'll play this on the other side. Thanks so much for the moderating this madness. We're going to go. Well, I'm going to.
Go to ramble.
Look at how. The fuck goes. It's all that martial arts shit. Where's the Liberia barn? Is it next to Wakanda Wishes and Wakanda barn. Fuck you, Edge. All right, lads, let's turn off YouTube. Thank you guys for being here. Let's go make fun of the live crash out on UFC. But there you go. Fuck you, Asians. What are you doing? Do you want stores? Do you want fucking stores in black areas? Can't believe that these fucking Asians. The kid pointed a gun at him.
Nothing.
nothing has changed. That man was let off the case, and
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
it just gets difficult.
You gonna cry for me?
It gets difficult
Cry for me, baby.
because, man, we as a people,
Yeah.
if the world is not going to treat us differently,
What are you
I
talking
woke up this morning and the first thing I saw was my screen time report. 8 hours and
It's
30
just a general issue. It's like people aren't bringing up actual problems, but they're like crying out for help at the same time. And once again, that app shut off the video because it's never going to change. Can't find software engineers these days.
And the black 14-year-olds are being told by assholes like this, it's fine to do that.
And that's valid. So these people sitting there complaining, they're telling people that aren't even they're not even affected by this supremacy or whatever they're claiming. They're not even actually affected right now. Nobody's affected by this. What they're affected by is a real problem, and that's the high up, the people at the top. But the people at the top are paying those people right in the middle, blabbing about all this, saying white people are bad and all that. Let's be racist against white people. Those people at the middle are being paid to tell the people at the bottom to hate, hate, hate. That's why if the conservatives wanted to fix this and establish their image as not racist, they're not, then they would want to be less inflammatory in their words, to be the peaceful voice in the fog, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's a good analogy or whatever. That's what I've been trying to say for a while, is it doesn't matter what the stats say. It doesn't matter what this, that, and the other say, especially when these stats are not even based on fact. They're based on hand-picked results. You got to find that middle ground. And that's what everybody's looking for, is that middle ground voice.
That's why the world has a problem with black people. Because the people who've got microphones and an audience of young black people are
Good
telling
point.
them the world's worst advice.
Mm-hmm.
You're not allowed to point a fucking gun at somebody and think that you're going to, well, oh, I'm a kid. You can't do anything about it. I'm a kid. I'm black. You can't do anything. No, you're getting shot in the fucking face. I don't know the numbers to this. For a guy who cares so much, I care so much about blacks. I care so much. And he's talking about how Asians are killing them. Dude, I think two Asian people have killed two black people. In the last 100 years, how many Asians have killed black people? Dude, if we
It's a good
entered
point.
into the double digits, I'd be fucking shocked. I'd be fucking shocked. And then flip it. How many black elderly or how many Asian elderly dudes have been killed in San Francisco? It's a lot.
Apparently, it's a lot.
But this guy don't give a fuck about black people. He don't give a fuck about black people. He's giving black people black kids. I'd say, listen, the world doesn't owe you shit. Stop listening to people who keep telling you about some fucking Wakanda energy. Black fucking girl magic. That that you're the world's people or some stupid.
It's
fucking shit.
overweight
No, forget it.
black chicks.
Go out.
It's overweight chicks in general.
Don't give the
You got
world an
overweight
opportunity to fuck you
white
over.
chicks that think that they're black because they're dating black dudes.
Don't walk and hand out unenforced heirs to yourself. Again, this is fucking stupid. Nobody owes you anything. It's fucking wild. Performative retardation gets the clicks.
That's a good point
Can't
there.
believe these Asians. Wow. Dude, wow. You're gonna go with that. The fucking Asians, huh? Okay. Son of a bitch. Yeah. Yeah. Carmelo's the victim. Carmelo's the victim. All right. Let's rock and roll into. Speaking of boycotts, guys. All right, because we're gonna be. Oh shit! Oh no! I got one more thing. Stand up. I got one more thing on this. We're at a point now where the black people are upset with Martin Luther King. All right, so this is the last thing I'm gonna say on this. Get the fuck off this stupid topic because I really don't give a shit. I don't think anybody else in the audience does, but I mean, it is hilarious to hear black people say, "Fuck you, Martin Luther King." that fucking asshole, Martin Luther King. Fuck him, man. we got to bring back segregation.
I haven't heard
Dude,
this
you
yet.
guys walking yourself off a fucking cliff. You're walking yourself off a fucking cliff. All right, I'm gonna get out of your way. You do whatever the fuck you need to do. All right. All the same blacks are gonna laugh at you too, but this is fucking insane. So here's David Santa Carl, Vampire Boys. Vampire.
I blame Martin Luther King, and this is a black-only conversation, so if you're not black, do not respond. He had a dream.
No, you don't get to do that. A couple 100,000 white dudes died to end slavery in this country. So the discussion of race and all that type of stuff, no, the white people have paid enough in blood that we could speak on this.
To integrate us with the most hateful people
Sure.
that lynched, raped, beat, and killed us
Nobody did
and
that
worked
to
us to death.
No, you won't work to
These are the literal descendants, the great, 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 great grandchildren
That's not true.
of these
That's
slave
not even true.
and racist. And these
If, in fact, slavery was stopped, and those people who had the slaves and were using slaves to run their factories stopped having to use those slaves, their factories must have become less productive, right? No, these are not the descendants of those people. In fact, the general population of whites are not descended from the people who owned slaves. Because they didn't survive. You had the industries up north where they didn't have that kind of slavery. Instead, they enslaved white people to work in factories. And those people survived. Those people did well. Those people went on to build the nation. So that statement is entirely incorrect. To say that we're the descendants. I'm not even close to a descendant. Why am I not? Grandfather only came to this country in like the 1930s. It was like during the orphans, basically, there was like a bunch of orphans, and my great grandfather was one of them, and had come over the country just before that. But that was not during anything that had to do with slavery. My bloodline is everything furthest away from the any sort of slave market.
These are things that have been taught at home since birth. This was his dream, mind you.
his statement of judge somebody based on their character rather than the color of their skin is sort of like a blanket statement that hasn't been made as a blanket statement. So why are you judging based on looks or the cover? Judge based on what's actually going on. You know, that's what I've said a long time ago. You know, people are basing things on a cover rather than knowing what's inside, and they're just quick to negate anything that they don't understand. So there's just not enough digging into the actual character of something or someone. I've said that that's the problem for a long time. Now that's why he was taken out, is because that can apply to the Jews. It can apply to anyone who, you know, because the Jews, the way that they dress, yeah, they have like dress clothes, but I don't know if you noticed, their hair doesn't really look that appropriate. They got these like curls and stuff in the front. It's like no offense to, you know, Jewish people and their style, but it's kind of cringe and it looks kind of gross. I don't know if it says it in the Bible somewhere that they have to have this kind of hair color or like hair style, but let's just imagine that they did. The appearance isn't that great to see, but their character, how they act, may not match what you see. So that's my point, is that it could apply to everybody. It applies to hippies, it applies to older generation. You see somebody super old, or they're not dressed particularly well, and they look like they're dying because they're old. Well, don't judge them based on how they look, judge them based on their character. That was the whole phrase behind Martin Luther King. You know, that was his point. So the government can't have that. Government, the elites, not the government specifically, like the people in charge of the whole planet, they can't have that. They can't have us getting along. That's why they took him out. They didn't want that to click. They didn't want the haves to work with the have-nots. So they kept us separated. They kept the rich separated from the poor, and now the rich are like, if we give anything to the poor and they rise up, then we won't have an existence. It's like, that shows more on you. The rich people that don't want to help anyone, that shows more about you than it does to the poor population. Because it shows that you have the power, but you don't want to give up that power because you're afraid of giving that power up. Because if you were to give that power up, then you don't have anything to actually build power again. Whatever power you have was apparently stolen because you can't build it on your own. You can't hand over some of that power and then build more of that power. You can't apparently do that. So all, you know, the really rich people in today's society not trying to make sure that those who have not continue to have not, that is the weakest position to have. Because if you're not going to try to be a hero and help your community out, make it look clean, make sure the roads are fucking clean, any of that, you're not willing to give up any power. You're not willing to do that because you cannot generate genuine power. Apparently, evidently, simple math.
And look at where the fuck we are. Years and years and years later.
Yeah, you're in a what a misinterpretation.
Like, power is obviously, evidently, not in abundance among the people that are in charge that have the power right now, the money.
Of how things have worked out. You live in a society.
So by trying to in vain show off by having more than another person, you are in fact showing how useless you are as an individual, because you cannot give up any of that power due to the fact that you cannot generate that power from a genuine point. You have to steal that power. And you know it's that difficult to get that power. You have to steal it. And that's why you don't want to give up any of that power. That shows the weakness rather than it shows how strong and how much you've accumulated and how much you have. The more you have and the less you do for society, the more useless you fucking are. And that's what AI will be able to detect. So that's the thing, is that AI automatically detects these things, finds out if you're a good steward of, you know, the woods and stuff, if you're littering and stuff, it'll be able to detect this stuff. You know, if you're one of these people that throws a can out into the fucking woods, like, it's gonna see that.
Hey, to tell you to get your shit in order, that you think it's fine, it's gonna kill me. Like, you know, that people are being held accountable for their own life.
Okay, if this is gonna be about race the whole time, I'm not gonna watch it, dude.
Thanks, man. Oh,
Okay, if it's gonna be about the UFC, I'm not watching either. Alright, closing that video, I'm done. Okay. Yeah, race was never an issue as long as I was growing up. We had foreign exchange students that were held to such high regard that they were above the rest of the class. So, you know, if you came from India or if you came from China, you'd be revered as the smartest kid in the class. The fuck? Foreign exchange students. You're the most protected. So as long as I've been alive, there hasn't been an issue with race. I don't think that my foot's gonna ever be okay. That sucks. Totally sucks. Could be worse. My foot does not feel right still. Dash is on. Make sure it's. Yep. All right. Go. I'll probably lock this. In. I'll do this. 20 seconds to accept. So I might turn the stream off on later. In a minute. Not in a minute. Later, like after I'm done with the stream. I mean, after I'm done with this order. Freaking brains everywhere right now. All right. Later.